Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing good. Unfortunately, I have a little problem going on here. So I have well, these two cuttings where technically this is the bottom cutting of a Stenocereus queretarensis, but as you guys can see, it started to rot on me, and the problem is starting to rot is that well, I added some sulfur to it, which is good for when you have cuttings. But the main problem is that the weather right now that we have here in California, well, it's raining, and I guess the humidity end up causing this Stenocereus queretarensis to start getting some mold. So let me see. So I first started with little green little dots, like as you guys can see those little dots, and then obviously you see all this mold right here, and this one as well. And this one's actually a mid cut, so it has on both sides, unfortunately. So like it's cold right now, and it's very kind of humid, right? Because it's been raining, and the sulfur starts to, well, when you put it on, it stays on, obviously, because it's wet. So the sulfur gets wet, and it takes a lot longer to dry, especially right now that it's cold and raining. So it started to get some of this mold. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut maybe around 2 inches. I'm gonna see. I'll probably cut an inch right now and see if it has mold that's still going inside. I mean, you'll be able to see it. If it looks kind of yellowish and dark like that, then I'm gonna have to cut a little bit more. And then with this one, I'm gonna have to do the same. Just cut this side and cut this side. But now what I'm gonna do different, instead of adding some sulfur to it, I'm just gonna leave it by itself. If it was like the summer or like spring, summer, that the weather's nice and warm, I'll probably add some sulfur to it because it will dry up pretty fast. But right now that it's raining, it's gonna take a lot longer to dry. So I'd rather have it with no sulfur and just keep checking up on it. So right now, well, I'm actually waiting for this electric saw that I ordered online. I'm gonna do it with a saw because this is a mature cutting, and you guys can see it's kind of woody already, so it's really hard to do it with the knife. If I was to do it with the knife, I'm gonna pretty much damage this cactus. So yeah, so I need an electric saw to cut this. Okay, so I finally got my saw and I could do my cutting, but first I will have to disinfect my blade. I'm just gonna add some alcohol. Make sure I get enough alcohol on it. Just wipe it down. Just make sure you be careful, you don't want to get cut with it. So let me just put this back on. I have my phone recording on my chest, so it's a little bit difficult. Let's see. All right, that's it. So I'm gonna first cut the top piece, and I'm pretty much gonna cut like an inch, and then you'll start seeing how deep you have to go in. So you first do like an inch to see if you see any mold. But right now I don't want to damage the table, so let me just put this on the edge of the table. All right, right there. There we go. And so now you check. You guys can see it looks nice and green. There's no black dots, no mold on it. Let me check the back of it. Looks pretty clean. And you guys can see all that mold right there. So you always kind of want to cut a good enough piece. There it is. So let me just put that away. Okay, so now I'm gonna disinfect the blade again. So you always want to disinfect it every time you use it, because even though I just disinfected for the first cutting, I know the top of the cactus may have some dirt, so you just want to make sure you disinfect it. Okay, so this one I'm probably gonna cut an angle cutting, just because the bottom piece was kind of sideways when I cut it. I don't want to cut too much of this cactus. Now this is the bottom piece of the cactus, so it's a lot harder. The middle part does start to get kind of woody. And you guys can see it got stuck on me. And I actually had to go in a little bit deeper. I can still see some mold. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to cut in deeper. So now I'm just gonna cut it straight. And like this is the bottom piece, so it is a lot harder. So it's kind of getting stuck on me. I think I had to recharge the battery. There you go. It's cutting. So now check again, make sure you don't see no mold. Let me check this one. See all that mold. This side looks pretty clean. Unfortunately, I had to cut a big piece off of it. Let me make sure my dog doesn't eat it. I see my dog coming up right here, so let me put this away. Now I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna throw it to the trash. I don't want it near my cactus. Okay, so now to do the other side. Look at that. This one looks really bad. There we go. I just remember I forgot to disinfect it again, but it's okay. Should be good. Perfect. Here's Toby. So here's the mold. As you guys can see, this mold kind of goes all the way towards, let me see, kind of towards the middle part, around there. So that's why you always kind of make sure you cut enough. This side looks pretty clean. There's no mold on this side, so it didn't go all the way through. And this one is pretty much like a foot long right now. On my med cuts, I kind of do like them to be at least a foot long. Now for this mid cut, I know some people may ask, like, how do you know which side is going on the ground? So what you have to look, well, for these Stenocereus queretaroensis, you see the little spines, they're pointing downwards, so that's where you're gonna plant the cactus. You could tell they start pointing down, the spines. So now I'm gonna have to let them dry up again, and let's see if it works. So 3 weeks have passed since I did the emergency cutting to take off some of the mold that was coming out from the cactus. And so I want to show you guys how they look right now. They're fully dried right now, and this one looks kind of dark, but yet it's really hard. So it's pretty it's callousing over pretty good. I mean, it kind of looks dark like that, and I'll show you guys why. So these past couple of weeks have been raining, so I had to put these cactus in an area where I wasn't gonna have no waterfall on them. And I live in Southern California, so it gets kind of humid, especially when it rains. The humidity starts going up, and then that's when they start to get some mold on them. So what I end up doing is I put them in an area where they're pretty much covered up, and they're not gonna get any rain, any water, any just humidity from the outside. The only problem is that what I had to do is I put this fan, because in this area that I have here, I don't have a good airflow here. So that's what I did. I put the fan, and it pretty much worked really good. This is actually the first time that I use just a house fan, and I left it over. I pretty much had it for these 3 weeks on, and I believe that's why this one kind of turned a little bit black, just because it's been so cold, and then with the air pretty much got a little bit colder. But yet I'm touching it and it's pretty firm. As long as it's not like squishy, then it's good. Now this side, I did have to cut it once again, because I actually had this side over here, and then the fan was blowing over here, so it didn't get any airflow, so it started to rot on me again. But I cut it, and it looks pretty good. I'll show you guys the other side. Okay, so here's the other side. Like I said, it looks kind of bad just because it's kind of dark. But overall, I'm touching it, and it's hard, so that's good. So this is the first time I used a fan on my cactus cuttings, and I'm pretty excited to see the results. It worked really good. So next time, I already know what to do. So it's pretty cool to just experiment, and that's how you just learn. You just start, you're always gonna have some kind of problems, and you just try to fix it. Maybe the first time you do this, the second time you do this, and I'm pretty impressed on how this fan worked, especially just because right now we're still having like a lot of rain, and it's been really cold, so it takes a lot longer for these cactus to callus over. And now with this fan getting nice airflow, it helps out a lot. So that's going to be pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you guys have any questions, just send me a comment, and I'll respond to it as soon as possible. Thank you.